Where?
All right. I'll try not to.
Make sure you don't have any crud on your teeth. Make sure you don't have like a hair out of place. How you doing over there?
Good.
Good. Me too.
Good. How nice you're on vacation.
I know. It's beautiful. I
Yeah.
love vacation. And
Very
then I get
nice.
to be off Christmas week too. So then bam.
Beautiful.
I know.
Yeah,
All right. You ready to go live?
I am.
You know what episode this is?
Oh, Lord.
You're about to
Wait.
find out.
Yeah, I should know. I
You're
do
about
know.
to find out. Here we go.
All right.
Good Health by Claudia podcast with me, Denny Schaefer, a production of Denny Radio. It's episode 56. Woo!
Woohoo! 56.
And I'm going to try to say the name of this. What is Nattokinase? How did I do? Nattokinase? How close? Nothing?
Not too good. No, not too good.
How do you say it?
Nattokinase.
Nattokinase.
A wonderful enzyme that we're going to learn about today.
Nattokinase. All right.
Yes.
It's dealing with the heart and blood pressure and, all of that. All right, here's our disclaimer. We've got to appease the suits. Here we go. This information contained in these podcasts is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or health condition. Please consult a qualified healthcare professional if you do have a medical condition. The FDA has not evaluated the information on this podcast, which represents the opinions of the hosts and or guests. Claudia, happy Thanksgiving week. I'm assuming you're going to have family over and are you doing turkey? Do you do turkey at your house?
We do.
Is it
Yeah.
grass-fed turkey, organic?
Of course. Got to eat clean meat. If you're going to eat meat, it's got to be clean. It's got to be raised, in a positive way. Yeah. So yeah.
Right, well, I'm confused first off on the name. How do you say it again? Nattokinase?
Nattokinase. Yeah.
It's an enzyme that comes from the Japanese food called natto.
Yep.
Natto is made from boiled soybeans that have been fermented with a type of bacteria. That doesn't sound appetizing.
Well,
but
the
it
end
may
product
thin
is
blood and help break up blood clots, according to the internet. Is any of that true?
Well, let's just bring Dan on and let's talk about it. He's the guy to talk about it.
He's the man?
He's the man.
All right. He has over 20 years of experience in the health and wellness industry. He's got degrees in nutrition and exercise science, certified dietary supplement professional, health coach, fitness trainer, and he works for Arthur Andrew Medical. Welcome to the broadcast, Dan Curtin. Hello, Dan.
Thanks,
Hi,
Denny
Dan.
and Claudia.
So
You got
did
that
I
right.
get any of it right?
You did.
Okay.
Well, we like to say that nattokinase, which you did say correctly. Some people call it nattokinase.
No,
There's nattoki something or nattofa or natto, and just say some kind of word, some kind of syllables after it. Natto, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, we like to say that this enzyme supports healthy blood circulation.
Yes.
Or it supports the cardiovascular system, and it keeps your blood nice and healthy and pristine and clean, and we'll leave it at that.
And do we have mountains of research supporting this, Dan?
There is quite a bit of research. Research started back in the 80s, and if I'll let you know how it was discovered. Essentially, a Japanese researcher, Dr. Sumi, I don't think he was a medical doctor, but he was looking for something from nature that would have an effect. Go ahead, Claudia. Did you have a question?
No, I'm listening. No.
So he's looking for something natural that would have an effect on fibrin, which is the primary protein in the blood that's responsible for clotting. So basically normal amounts of fibrin, and you have nice, good looking, working blood.
Right.
And so instead of, he basically he knew that there was blood thinners being used, and blood thinners, in terms of prescriptions, those types of products prevent your blood from clotting. No matter what the situation is, they prevent the blood from clotting. And, if you take too much, you could have a bleeding issue. But if there was something in nature, something that had the ability to basically eat up some of this excess fibrin, which is something that we'll talk about in a minute, but fibrin does build up as we age. what if there was something? So he was testing all sorts of different types of herbs and foods and you name it, just a whole bunch of supplements. And the story is he's Japanese. And like you said, this enzyme, nattokinase, comes from the Japanese food natto, or natto, which is a acquired taste. Obviously, it is a Japanese. It's popular in Japan. Here, I think it kind of tastes like, maybe it smells like kitty litter. Not really
That's
the best.
appetizing, Dan.
Yeah. But
That's a
essentially, you're
side
talking.
dish for my Thanksgiving meal. Thank you for the
Exactly.
idea.
But anyway, you've got fermented soybeans it almost turns into like a soy type of cheese.
Mm-hmm.
And so while he was doing his research, he had these petri dishes of fibrin. Again, the protein that we're trying to change or break down. And he was having some success with certain things. But anyway, long story short, a piece of the natto dropped into the fibrin. And he noticed over time that actually, compared to all the other things that he was testing, this one spot in the dish just completely dissolved. And so that's what started the whole thing. Oh, no wonder, and then he basically assumed that this had to do with a lot of the good cardiovascular health that those in Japan had. Not only were their diets good, but they also ate this delicacy all the time, which appeared to have a direct effect on breaking down fibrin.
Right.
All right, so I just want to remind everybody that's watching our awesome podcast today, if you have any questions, type them up in the comment section. I'll see them. I'll read them to Claudia and Dan. You can get your questions answered in real time about this product. So I come into your health store, or Dan, you and I run into each other in the street. What would be going on in my life? High blood pressure. I've got a history of heart attacks in my family. Why would I want to take this supplement?
Well, 3 years ago, I'd answer you differently. But so let's pretend it's 3 years ago, or prior to 3 years ago, I would say anybody that's concerned about their cardiovascular health, that wants to keep their blood nice and clean, they want to keep their heart running smoothly, easily, they don't want any stress on the heart. Is there anything natural that they can take that's going to support that? And so some of those situations that you just spoke of, obviously those people would be candidates as well. However, if they were taking any type of medication, they would need to talk to their doctor, especially if they were taking statins or blood thinners or anything of the like. Plenty of doctors, especially now, are willing to combine the two and look at their patient's blood profile. But that being said, if you're not on any medication, then by all means, this would be something you'd want to take, especially as you're getting up into, say, over 45 or 50, and then for the rest of your life. And the reason is nattokinase is an enzyme. And just in general, enzymes they're used for every single chemical reaction in the body. So we take a breath, there's an enzyme chemical reaction. Your heart pumps when you're digesting food. I mean, every single thing, there's millions and millions of enzymes reacting every second.
Yes.
And so because we're producing less of them, and we're also eating less of them as we age, we start to get into this prioritization situation. So what am I going to do? Am I going to use enzymes that I have to digest food, or am I going to use them to cleanse my blood? Which one is more important? If I don't digest my food, I'm going to starve, and I'm probably going to die a lot sooner than if I ignore the blood. Same goes for keeping your heart beating and keeping your lungs functioning. Other things like skin elasticity. There's enzymes involved in keeping your skin nice and elastic. So one of the things we notice about aging is our skin elasticity starts to get ignored, basically. So we ignore the skin, we just look older. We don't get sick from that. Same thing with the blood. Over time, we might, if we ignore cleansing the blood, over time, it's going to start to build up. But right now, we need to just keep everything functioning. So that's why you would need to take these enzymes, because you're in that state of prioritization. Why, your body's just juggling the enzymes. What am I going to use them for? So now, as a middle-aged to older person, let's start supplementing with nattokinase and let's turn all these things back on so we don't have to prioritize.
So
Fast forward really quickly. Go ahead, Claudia.
Well, I want to back up for a minute because we kind of jumped into the conversation
Right.
without kind of leading up to it.
Mhm.
So I'm glad that you're saying what enzymes are, because there's thousands of enzymes in the body,
Yeah,
hundreds,
thousands.
thousands.
Hundreds
They
of
all
thousands.
have a different purpose. So the enzymes that we're talking about, because when people hear enzymes, most of them are thinking digestive,
Exactly right.
which are extremely important. Denny, that's when we've talked about hydrochloric acid and lipase and all that stuff. Those are helping the stomach break food down. But when we're talking about these kind of enzymes, these are very specific enzymes that have a very specific job. But we didn't even mention the name of the company. So that's why I want to back up for a minute. So here's the product, and can you see it? And the name of the company is
Arthur Andrew Medical.
Yeah. And
which I said that in Dan's intro, Claudia.
Oh, you
Well,
did?
just a reminder.
Sure
Okay,
did.
thank you.
It's
I'm glad
okay.
you did. You usually do, but I was thinking about something else. Sorry. So this is nattokinase. And one of the big things, I first was very blessed to learn about nattokinase years ago when Tom Bohager started Enzymatica. He wrote the book. And when I had my radio show, he was our first sponsor. So he was on a lot. So we did a lot of active education on nattokinase. And one of the things that kept coming up in the, years ago when we were educating people was people know that soy products can be estrogenic. But to clarify, there's no estrogenic activity in this product, correct? So I just want to tell everybody that, because a lot of people think they connect soy to estrogen. We talk about it a lot. Estrogenic activity is a problem in modern times, petrotoxins. We have that conversation a lot. So I just wanted to clarify that. So this is a great product that is great benefit for we've had a lot of people over the years on nattokinase, but I really like your product because it's a higher activity. And
Right.
I've been taking this myself. I really like this. I've been
And
taking
what's the
this.
name of the product, Claudia? I can't see what's on the
That product is called Nattovena.
Nattovena.
Nattovena, and if you look at any other product, it's going to be twice the activity level. So when you're looking at a
Right.
nattokinase product, it's rated in fibrinolytic units. It'll say, so-and-so FU. So this is 4,000 per capsule. Most products are going to be 2,000 per capsule.
Yeah.
And that basically tells you how much fibrin are you going to be able to break down per gram of product. So sort of like gasoline has octane, you could have a gallon of jet fuel and a gallon of 87. They're both a gallon, but the energy output is completely different. Same thing with the nattokinase. You could have the same amount in two different products, but one could be 2, 3, 4, 5 times stronger than the other.
Right. And we always tell people it's important to take it on an empty stomach.
Empty stomach, because so back to what you were saying, this is a specialized type of protease or protein digesting enzyme,
Yes.
also called a proteolytic enzyme, which just means this enzyme is going to break down protein. Now, specifically, nattokinase has an affinity to break down cross-linked fibrin. So if you took this with a protein source, say you took it as a digestive, so basically, to back up again, digestive enzymes are just simply that. They're digestive because you're taking them with food.
Right.
So if you took this product with food, it would be technically a digestive enzyme. It would just be a crummy one because you're not really eating cross-linked fibrin.
Right.
And so we want to take this on an empty stomach, and where it'll be absorbed through the lymph and then in through the small intestine into the bloodstream. And then now it can do its work basically like little Pac-Man, digesting excess contaminants, including fibrin. And you might ask, well, how does it know? How do these enzymes know what to break down? And enzymes in general, even the ones that we create, they're immune privileged. So the immune system marks anything for breakdown. So for instance, if I have damaged tissue from an injury, the immune system is trying to get rid of that damaged tissue. And the way that it does it is through enzymes.
Right.
And so it'll mark that tissue for extraction and breakdown, and then the enzymes will be attracted to it. And they're attracted to anywhere there are antibodies. So
That
anyhow,
is awesome. That is
It-
just awesome. Isn't
it's
that just
amazing.
incredible, the human
Yeah.
body and what it does? I'm
and
just
that's
amazed by that.
and that's why enzymes are so just unique in that, with supplements, you have a situation where a supplement is part of a process, or say a vitamin, say vitamin K, say you're lacking in vitamin K, so and you have plenty of vitamin D. You might be absorbing plenty of calcium, but you're not pushing that calcium into the bones.
Right.
And so now we got to add in what we're lacking, add in the vitamin K, specifically K2, and now we can force that calcium into the bones. Now with enzymes, we actually have something where it's not just an ingredient for a process. This is actually a protein that's going in and working and actually breaking something down that is typically some type of toxin. And and enzymes are the primary tool that the immune system uses to get rid of everything: dead
Right.
viruses, bacteria,
Right.
undigested food that we talked about, damaged tissue from injury, you name it.
And something that's always frustrating is we know there's all this beautiful knowledge. We have all of this information, and yet where is it being heard? Where is it being found? It's being found in health food stores. It's not
Right.
being found out in mass America, which is a shame, because everybody needs these products. Everybody needs products that are helping the body do what it's meant to do.
They
And I'll
really do.
tell you what, especially after the last few years, with all these, a lot of people are throwing clots. We know it's a serious problem. I think it's escalating. We have a lot of people on Natto now that we didn't before, but
Exactly.
because it's an enzyme, we encourage people well, we're always encouraging people to be proactive, right? That's the key. You got to be proactive with your health.
Absolutely.
And that's the beauty of everything that we know and teach in health food stores. We know this information because we've been learning it, we've been studying it, we've been blessed to have people like Dan in our industry that brings tremendous knowledge, and we're the ones that are sharing it. So I'm really happy you're here today, because enzymes, this conversation of enzymes, especially with vascular health, it's a big conversation. It's an
huge.
important one, especially now with a lot of things we're dealing with. So with Natto, we have people that are taking it as just part of another daily prevention,
Mhm.
which I respect. They don't, we have some people taking 1 capsule, some people are taking 3, 4 caps. But in regard to, for people that are on meds, of course, we always tell them to talk to their doc. But I don't think there's been a contraindication with Natto and people taking certain meds for cardiovascular issues. Are there contraindications there that we know of?
Well, in theory, there could be contraindicated specifically with blood thinners. And I like to tell people, if you're taking nattokinase or any type of systemic enzyme, so any type of enzymes you're taking on an empty stomach, they're going to have some type of a beneficial effect on your blood. And it's going to be cleansing in one way or another. And so when you're combining that with a drug that's preventing you from clotting, it's essentially, I say, it's like giving a blood thinner to a child that doesn't need a blood thinner.
Right.
What's going to happen to the child? Maybe nothing, but let's not take a risk. These nattokinase specifically has been, during the process, there is vitamin K2 that is produced, but the nattokinase enzyme is extracted at the end of the process. So there isn't anything left over, including any soy. And so that brings me back really quickly to that question about soy. The natto food is a soy food. It's
Yes.
fermented soy.
Yes.
But nattokinase is produced by the bacteria to break down that soy protein. And so it's not in the soy itself. Nattokinase is not in there. It's produced by the bacteria. So during that process, everything is extracted: the bacteria, the vitamins, the prebiotics, everything. And all you're left with is nattokinase. And in our tests, we always test for contaminants, especially soy. We don't have any soy in that Nattovena product. So that sheds a little bit of light on, wait a minute, this comes from soy. How does it not have soy in it? Well,
Right.
it's during a fermentation of soy, but it's not soy itself.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah,
a question if you guys want to take a question from
Yeah.
Stephanie. This is very informative. Will it be okay to take with other supplements? I am currently not on any meds, but I have elevated blood pressure. I am currently taking black seed oil. Is it okay to take this as well?
This can be
Yep.
taken with any supplement. Any
Yeah.
other, there aren't any contraindications for any supplement at all.
Yeah.
The only thing, like I said, is prescription blood thinners. That's it.
Yeah.
There you
Very
go.
good.
Thank you, Stephanie. Any other
Yep, thank
questions?
you.
Put them in the comments section, and I'll ask Dan and Claudia. All right, Claudia, what's next?
Well, just real quickly, I just want to say most supplements work well together.
Yeah,
I mean, it's fair to say most supplements do.
absolutely.
And you have a lot of people reading things on the internet, don't take this with that and don't take that with this. And, all these, so many nutrients they're collectively in the food. So, this idea that supplements can fight each other, that's not always necessarily
Mm-mm.
correct. So most things work well together.
Yeah. And a
So
lot of it's just marketing put out by companies about competitor type stuff. Like, oh, you
Yes.
don't want to take that with this, and it's probably just all marketing. So
So
anyhow. And,
another product that you make. Oh, go ahead, Dan. What were you going to say?
well, you were talking about, and now I just lost my train of thought. So if I remember,
Okay.
Welcome to my world, Dan.
So another great product that I want to talk about is serapeptase.
Right.
So can you see this? This is
there you go. Seredia.
serapeptase, another wonderful enzyme. I take both
Absolutely.
of these every day, but I really take more of this. So tell us about serapeptase.
They're both of these products are both very synergistic, and there is going to be a lot of crossover because they are both the 3 Ps again. They're both proteolytic, protein digesting proteases. So they just have the ability to break down different proteins a little bit better than the other. One thing I wanted to say, I just remember what I was going to say before. With these enzymes, like I said, we're lacking enzymes as we age. And so we're in this prioritization stage, so we start supplementing and we can hopefully bring that down or get rid of that. But now, because people are inundated with so much new poison, if you will,
Yes.
they're creating far more fibrin than they ever did before, far more blood impurities than ever before. And this includes 30-somethings, 20-somethings, and even younger. And so because of that, our whole fibrin balancing system is out of whack. And so now people are going into this prioritization stage far sooner than ever before. And so that's why I'm recommending these types of enzymes even my daughter started taking a systemic enzyme product. Man, she has vitiligo, and these enzymes are great for supporting autoimmune issues.
Mm-hmm.
And so she took a product that has nattokinase and serapeptase in it, and the vitiligo stopped, and she started taking that. I think she was like 5 years old. So they're very benign. As long as kids can eat food or swallow a pill, they can take these products. Obviously, they're going to be sensitive, so you want to start slowly. But there isn't anything that would make me steer away from giving this to my child that's young.
Yeah.
So,
good to know.
But then back to the serapeptase.
Yes.
So you can think of it as basically the sister to nattokinase. Nattokinase is going to be the enzyme you want to take for cleansing the blood. Anything within the bloodstream that you're trying to essentially support or create or make healthy, if you will. Serapeptase is the same thing outside of the bloodstream. So in regards to injuries, surgery, just any type of immune function that you want to make sure that process is at tip top and that your immune system has all of the tools it needs to get rid of anything that it's breaking down and wanting to rid the body of, that's where serapeptase shines. So again, cardiovascular is nattokinase, whereas serapeptase there's still blood flow to the area because that's the only way the enzymes get there.
Right.
But if you have an injury or you're going in for surgery or you're trying to recover from anything, that's where serapeptase shines. And one of the main reasons is Serrapeptase is also going to break down some excess fibrin. And I'll give you one tidbit here. The strongest form of fibrin on the planet is silk.
Oh,
Silk is a component, or fibrin is a main component of silk. And there's some confusion as to where serrapeptase comes from because it was discovered
right.
through the silkworm process.
Yes.
So essentially, just like before when I was saying bacteria created nattokinase to break down soy protein, in this case, bacteria on the skins of silkworms and in the digestive systems of silkworms creates serrapeptase to help them break down their cocoon, which is made up of silk. So what's happened over time is the bacteria from the silkworms has been collected and plated, and then you've grown this basically clean room environment serrapeptase that has the ability to break down fibrin because it is breaking down silk in nature.
That's an amazing. I love that, and it's powerful stuff. And nature always has the answer.
Oh yeah,
it's amazing.
Absolutely.
Nature's pharmacy.
Yeah, nature's pharmacy. So, the last product I want to show is this is the combo, correct?
Oh yeah, that's the product I was talking about. That
yes,
my daughter had
this
taken.
has both the serrapeptase and the serrata in it.
Correct. So
the nattokinase.
It has multiple systemic enzymes, all proteolytic in nature. So it has not only nattokinase and serrapeptase, but it also has protease, which is kind of a confusing name, but we don't need to get into that now. Right. But bromelain, papain, and then it does have a fat dissolving enzyme lipase as well.
Yes.
So if you know exactly what you're trying to do and you're trying to be very direct with what you're doing. So say you have, for instance, I keep giving the example of a swollen ankle. Say you were, hurt yourself or twisted your ankle, hey, I'm going to start taking serrapeptase to help myself heal as quickly as possible. However, if you have several issues going on, maybe you're concerned about your cardiovascular system, maybe you've got some aches and pains that are starting to develop, we can probably all have a laundry list of stuff, especially as we age. That's where Nepronol comes in, because that is going to take the broadest approach to all of these contaminants that are basically contaminants in the blood, stimulate the immune system and overstimulate it. And that's why we get all these symptoms. So these enzymes will help our bodies break down a lot of these contaminants that we can't get rid of, and then sort of calm the immune system down so that we can function properly. We don't want our immune system all ramped up all the time. That's why people, start to develop autoimmune issues.
Right.
So if we can modulate and calm it down, that's where Nepronol comes in. So if you're not sure
Dan,
what to do.
I've got crazy knee pain. Would this be a supplement I would want to take? Would that help?
It would be absolutely great for occasional knee pain for when you overdo it.
Well, that's every time I play golf. I played yesterday, and then my knee just friggin' kills me until I get a good night's sleep or jump in a hot tub, which I don't have.
Absolutely.
So that doesn't happen.
So that's the sanctioned FDA talk, if you will.
Right.
Is what I just said.
Got it. So chronic knee pain, this might be something I want to explore.
Absolutely. Great for golfers. You'll notice, actually, one of the things you'll notice as a golfer is that you'll be more flexible right off the bat.
Oh, that's big. That's big. Claudia, this is where you take the Nepronol and you slide it over on the side of the desk in Denny's pile.
It's in your
Denny's going to come by the store and pick that bad boy up tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I do have one question, though, because, Claudia, you have me on magnesium, which is also for the heart, correct?
Well, yes.
It's for a lot of things.
Important for all the muscles, the nerves.
Okay.
Yep.
So I can take it with that as well.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
They all work happily together.
And is this on an empty stomach as well?
That is correct.
Yes.
And an empty stomach, we like to say, an hour before you eat and or 2 hours after, because sometimes people are taking this multiple times per day. But we're always going to, suggest something a lot further than you need to be. So as long as it's at least a half an hour before you eat, then those capsules will be out of the stomach and into the digestive system. So there shouldn't be any issue.
Yeah.
All right, Stephanie asked, are all these products available at Claudia's? And I said, of course they are. Get in your car. As soon as we're done, drive over there.
You need to just take this on
Yeah.
your phone right now and
That's
get in the
right. Your
car.
Thanksgiving will be so
Yeah.
much more pleasant.
Well, they're wonderful products, and I was excited to have this conversation. I'm glad we're doing this today. Thank you. And we
Absolutely.
hope you
Thanks
come
so much
back,
for
Dan,
having me.
because, there's so much to talk about with enzymes. We
There
kept it
is.
very simple. We always want to keep it simple initially. But
Absolutely.
there's
Denny.
always for every, you and everybody. I mean, that's the point, right? If knowledge isn't, if we say things and nobody understands it, then it's useless information. We want it to become knowledge so people can actually use it to improve their health. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
All right, Stephanie is making one more request. Could you hold the products up so she can screen? I'll tell you what, we'll do that when we're done with Dan. Stay with us, Stephanie. That way it'll be a bigger screen. But Dan, you'll connect with this. We're going to have you back on because our train is going to hook up with your train.
All right.
And we're going to do some really cool stuff and shock the world, man.
Well,
I'm ready.
And one last thing I want to just say before we go, because Dan, you brought up about, stuff in the blood. And I always remind customers, there's a lot of stuff in the blood because of that we were living in a toxic world. People are eating toxins every day. They're eating them in every mouthful. And we're accumulating them from the off-gassing from all these different petrotoxins and all these things. So that's why we're being inundated, and it's all in the blood. Yes. You got to clean the blood. It's a very important process. And these enzymes it's a great start to do that. So anything else we should go over before we go?
No, just so you know, if people are interested, some of the other things and I mentioned really quickly, vitamin K2 specifically is a fantastic addition, especially people that are worried about cardiovascular issues. These enzymes can only break down protein. So if you have any calcification going on, or, if you want to support the normal calcium process in the blood, well, enzymes can't get through anything that's protected by calcium, if you know what I mean. So K2 can help force that calcium away from those areas that may have excess fibrin and the like. So it's a great combination as well.
Very good. All right. I think
Dan.
that was great information. Thank you, Dan.
So much. Have a great Thanksgiving.
Likewise.
And hopefully you'll want to be on again with us.
Anytime.
He'll be on. He loves us.
Thank you, Dan. Many blessings to you.
That was a good one. I'll tell you what, week after week, you just amaze me how there are people like Dan in the industry that have the truth and they're getting it out there and not relying on the BS on the internet. You're bringing truth. And I'll tell you what, and I hope everybody watching and listening will, do what I did. I've been a year on this journey with Claudia where I've dropped 23 pounds and I've kept it off. And consistently over the last year, it's the best I've ever felt. I get better sleep. My moods are better. And it's all because of this podcast and the things that I'm learning from you and your store and our guests like Dan. And it's just amazing that it's available. And like you said, it's not being talked about. It's being talked about on podcasts like this, but it's not being talked about in mainstream media, if you will.
Right.
And it's a damn shame what it is. All right. Stephanie would like to see can you hold the products up so Stephanie can get a screenshot? So that's the first one.
That's
take your shot. All right. There you go. Take your screenshot. All right. Number 2.
Here's serapeptase.
All right. Hold it right there. Take your screenshot in 3, 2, 1. And then the last one, which the Den Man is going to get on this stuff. I'm going to stop by the store later today or tomorrow, Claudia. This is what I want to try. All right, take your screenshot. All right, there you go, Stephanie. Hey, we are a full-service podcast, Claudia. We get things done, and we're helping people, and you're changing lives.
Well, listen, I'm very grateful every day that I've been shared this knowledge that I've been able to experience over all these years, what I've experienced. And I'm so grateful we're sharing it, because if we don't share it, what's the point? We got to get it out there. And just like you, Denny, being willing to try these different things, as more Americans are willing to really embrace their health and try these different supplements, the end result can be a beautiful big change in our country. Right now it's, drugs, drugs, drugs. It's a sad thing. And as we talk about, we're seeing younger and younger people being put on drugs. There's no reason children should be on drugs. You should always try nutrition first. Nourish the body, give it the tools that it needs to affect positive change. And then down the road, if you need intervention with medical things, then you do it. But always
Right.
start with nourishing the human body. It's a beautiful machine. So
Yep, nature's nursery. All right, Dawn has a question. My dad's side of the family, mostly the men, have clotting issues. Do you think these are beneficial for me? I would say, based on the information.
oh, absolutely. We have a lot of people that are, if something runs in their bloodline, they're being proactive and they're getting on these products before they run into an issue. And remember, as always, changing the diet is very important. Doing what we can to clean up, get rid of the junk and the refined foods and the sugar, all the things that are burdening the human body. And that's, junk food burdens the body. It burdens the immune system. And then
Except
the
on
body
Thursday. Thursday's Thanksgiving. Do not be peeing on my party, lady.
Well, we teach people, how do you take these different recipes that people have and use good, clean ingredients. So you still can have a goodie, but now you're using clean ingredients that make everything taste better. Everything. So
yeah. All right. What are we doing next Tuesday, Claudia?
Well, next Tuesday, we're going to talk about just different products to support the immune system, just general.
Okay.
So I thought that would be nice to do. Why? Do you want to do
that'll be
something
good,
else? Whatever you want to do. I was thinking immune health.
All right, immune health is always important, especially this time of the year as we're more and more indoors and we're exposed to a lot more crud, and you want your immune system firing all winter long. So that'll be good.
Man. Yeah.
And I think before the end of the year, we're also going to do another Q&A. So anytime you have questions that maybe we didn't see, or we'll put up a post that says, all right, what are the questions? And then we do an entire podcast on that, which is always fun. So
those are fun. I like them. Yeah.
All right, Claudia, like always, I'm giving you the last word.
Well, just everyone have a wonderful holiday. And I think it's, the holidays are interesting times. For many, they're very filled with joy. For some, they are not. But I think it's a very important time to remember that what they're all about is getting down to the important things, focusing on family, friends, people that nourish your heart. Hang out with people that nourish your heart, because that's, to me, where it all starts. So I hope everyone has a wonderful Thursday, wonderful Thanksgiving, and hopefully you don't eat too much sugar. But we'll talk about things that you can take, if you do, to help you feel better. But in the meantime, many blessings to everybody, and keep the faith, everybody. We're just focusing on good things. We're all being surrounded by stuff. I tell everybody, turn off the news, for goodness sakes. It's too much. It's just too much. There's a lot of love in the world. Find it, focus on it, share your heart, shine your light, and keep the faith. And many blessings to everybody. Peace.